Kalimera, welcome back to the channel. Had a lot of good feedback from the previous videos, especially the ones about the sales team, sales coaching, and obviously the no drinking. They seem to work hand in hand quite well together, so I think it's something that I should be leaning into. Anyway, what I wanted to go in and talk to you more about really is what is it? What would it do? How would it work? How can you get involved? All this sort of stuff. And I'm just letting you know this because it's not fully finished yet. Not everything's built. Not all of the I's need to be dotted and the T's need to be crossed. But before we get there, I just thought it'd be helpful because I want to not necessarily like fully build it in public, but like give a bit more of a hands-on approach to actually building it. Obviously, the more content I can get around it, the better. So you can actually look at it, gives you credibility, know that you can trust me, you know that it's going to work, and you know that the product is good. They're the main things. Like whenever I've told somebody, it's like, do you like it? Can you use it? Can you afford it? Well, if you want to come and jump in and work with me and become part of the coaching team, become part of the coaching community, then realistically you're going to need to know a few things. Do you like the people that are in there? Is the training any good? Is it worth the money? And that's basically it. Everyone has their internal ticks. As long as you get enough of those internal ticks, then you're golden, really. Okay, so first things first, what I was thinking about doing is separating it from myself. So a lot of what I've done before is Western based, the Western way and Western Boulevard, Western developments, all of this sort of stuff Western wise. So I just wanted to keep it as like a separate entity, just so it can just be like disassociated with me, so I'm not just the face of it in years to come. So the idea was to call it The Rad Life. It sounds a bit corny and a bit cheesy because, like radical dude, all that sort of stuff. But realistically, I like the name Rad. I've been called Rad by a few friends of mine, especially my friend Tiger for the past few years. Used to call me Radley. Dom called me Comrade. And then it's kind of like come together to be The Rad. Also, I consider myself to be fairly radical in my past life when I was, on the gear and on the drink. Anyways. The Rad Life, I like it. It can also be shortened to Rad Life. And also thinking ahead, if that sort of account or that social media medium, whatever it's going to be posted on, takes off and becomes more popular than the Connor Western one, I don't mind being known as Rad Life or Rad. This is something that I see with some creators. I'm like, do you want to be known as this name that you've given yourself? I'm like, I want a good name. Okay, anyway. So first things first, how it will sort of start off. I've got 4 connections now that I've worked on recently for high ticket closing roles. That includes appointment setter roles and closing roles. Depending on the role, some of the setting roles has a small base and maybe like a 5% commission or a payment per booked meeting or SAT meeting. Setting is obviously easier. There's less that you've got to jump through, less hoops, but it's less skilled. So setting is always a really good way to start because it just gives you that resilience and that sort of knowledge of how to actually work the first part of the sales process. And it's one of the most important parts, especially if you're doing real cold outreach. Is the most important part. If you're running ads or you've got some organic traffic, then setting is also a good way just to confirm that people are actually going to come, to not waste anyone's time, and it's a good way to feel out what the person is going to be like on the call and how receptive they are. From that, you're going to have the closer role, so usually 10 to 15%. Again, I've said it before, but like the information-based products or the courses are usually the best because they have good margins, because you run the course, you do a few calls, bam, 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 you've got good cash coming in and people will pay that, and it can become quite sticky because once they get all of the knowledge and the training, they actually want to stay part of the community because they've grown so much there, they become friends and they've got good network. So then that becomes stickier. Sticky is a more of a SaaS-based term that it's like, you become so engrossed in it that you can't leave. Like some of these tech and these softwares, they're sticky, so you use it once and you're like, oh my god, it integrates into your system so well that you can't rip it out. It's like part of you. It's like getting a titanium rod put in your wrist. Like it becomes part of you, you take it out, it's not ideal. Anyway, I digress. So you have the setting and the closing job. So I've met a lot of people recently, they're building their own business, they need reliable closers, they need reliable setters, they need a reliable person to refer them in. A lot of these business owners or influencers, they'll have these products and they'll have the leads, they don't have anyone to set the appointments, they don't have anyone to close them because it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy and a lot of effort to train and constantly keep training people. Whenever I worked in sales, mainly when I was in Mexico, I had the best sales trainer ever. I'm going to try and get him on a few calls and basically link up with him because he was without doubt the best sales trainer I've ever worked with. Mike Griffiths, Canadian guy, and he basically taught me everything I know, but he didn't do the hard sell, the push sell, the, you know, I'm going to manipulate you. He did you the consultative sell. He did you the smart sell. He did you the, I'm going to lay this up so perfectly that it's almost an offer you can't refuse. The whole Godfather, Hormozy sort of make you an offer so good you can't refuse, and it's like a no-brainer. And also his whole pitch, his whole being was, I don't care if you buy, I got money anyway. If you buy, it's a benefit to me, but if you buy, it's also a benefit to you. I'm not going to try and sell you something you don't want, you don't need, you can't afford. But if you do want it, are going to use it, and you can afford it, then you might as well buy it from me because you know me, you trust me, and I'm just authentic. So I embody that as well. So big shout out to Mike Griffiths, Mikey G, we used to call him. Mikey G is the GOAT in my eyes of sales trainings, and he's the person that I'd want to bring on because I just know that he's the best guy. There's a few other guys as well. Johnny was also a really good trainer. And then there's, anyway, I digress. So then what I'd want to do is, because I know that these people have roles and they want to fill them and they don't want to necessarily train them, what I'd want to do is do the training, because in my life I've literally, from a kid until my young 20s, my whole career was in tuition, water sports tuition mainly. So windsurfing, sailing, wakeboarding, paddleboarding, kayaking, wind knowledge, tides, all of this stuff based around the ocean was all of my skill set. I became a dual qualified senior instructor, a powerboat safety boat driver, a British water ski and wakeboard driver. Like, I have all these, a paddy dive master. Like, I have all of these qualifications, a motion arts free dive level 1. Like, I've done all of these qualifications, I've learned all these things, and then I know, because I've done a lot of learning, I know how to teach, because I've been on the other end of the spectrum. And the easiest way to teach is to remember what it was like when you knew nothing. Everyone assumes that you know, oh yeah, everyone knows this already because I know this. No one knows shit. That's why they're there, to learn. So you go back to basics, you go back to the beginning, you go back to square one, and you teach people in layman's terms, and you give them little triggers. When I was trying to learn Spanish, I go, little triggers. What does that remind me of? What does that remind me of? What does that word correlate to in English? Like, these little bits. Imagine it's like this. It's like this. There's so much, especially when you're teaching people how to dinghy sail. You have the tiller, you have the wind, you have the main sheet, you have the balance. Like, there's so much going on. The dagger board, like, there's so much going on that you have to be a good coach. You have to be good at picking up on people's little mistakes, and you have to be just good at getting people to do stuff that they necessarily have never done before. Again, when I was at Lead Forensics, I'm not going to say I was the best manager there because I was very militant, but we did a lot of training, we did a lot of calls, and we did a lot of role play. Again, local lookout, role play. Time under tension. When I'm in the gym, you don't need to bang reps out that fast. You just need good, solid reps and go volume. How many can you get? How many can you get? How many can you get? I'm doing 15 to 20 reps on everything, and I'm like in very good shape. And I'm also not super heavy, and I'm quick, and I'm fairly nimble. Like, it's volume. Volume wins the world. But if you can combine volume with skill set and quality and knowledge, and you combine it together, you just 10x your outcome. So that's a little bit about the tuition. Once you're in the group, I don't know how it's going to work, but either you do a lump sum or you do a monthly payment. I don't know what will be better. But again, I'm not that fussed about the money. It's not the main thing. I just want to have 10 people that want to learn how to set appointments and want to learn how to close later on down the line. Setting appointments isn't easy. Like, I know that, like, the last call I made, I must have made like 10 calls. But like I said to the guys that I was working with, just watch this. I'm going to get the first guy on the phone, the first CEO to answer, and I'll book this first meeting. Boom, done. What did I do? Banged it. Ollie Mundy, great guy. DJ, owns a camping business with these big bespoke tent sort of thing you see at Coachella. Banged it, made him laugh, got him on the phone, he's in his car, bam, meeting booked, done. I'm not gonna lie, the meeting went poorly. I didn't do a great job, but it's because I didn't do enough preparation. And I'm only telling you this because it's accountable for me, because I went in there maybe with a limiting belief, to be honest. That's what happened, because it had been a while since I'd actually done that. So I'm going back to basics. I'm actually investing in myself and doing some sales training at the moment, doing more courses, getting some remote sales jobs. So like for me, I wouldn't fucking ever get a job with someone who isn't setting appointments and who isn't closing. So what am I doing? I'm getting a setter role and a closing role, because I have to be embodying it for you to even bother doing it. Because like, you never take advice from someone who's not in the position that you want to be in. I'll tell you all of my deepest, darkest secrets, but loads of people have a way worse hand than I've been dealt. So I know that I'm in a good stead and a good standing for people to trust me and want to actually come on board and actually become part of this team, community, coaching course, whatever it is. What I want to do is make it like a longevity play. So I like the idea of a lump payment because it's nice, you got the cash in, but I also think that if you've got like just a squad of people and then you all grow together and you get to a certain point, it's like, cool, I'm going to help you do everything. I'm going to basically help on consult your life. You're going to pay me a small fee, but we're all going to learn together. We're all going to do the trainings together. We'll do calls together. And then it's like, cool, I've met someone, like for example, one of the roles I'm going for is a sobriety coach. And he teaches high value men who usually in finance, how to stop alcohol and drugs. That's around it. I guess it's changing the mentality of, I don't know too much about it, but because I don't drink, I'm like, well, that sounds perfect for me to sell because I'm in it and I know it. You know what I mean? So like, if I meet someone and their experiences, they're a PT, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm actually working with a personal trainer who's selling a course. You know about personal trainers, you might as well do that. I get a social media manager and then I've got someone selling a social media course. Boom, it just makes sense. You put the people in the right places to get the best results. Doesn't make sense to be forcing their hands or swimming upstream. So that's another part of it. With the rad life, obviously I need to be making lots more content. This is very easy content. I actually really enjoy this because I get to speak my mind and just talk, and it gets everything off my plate. But obviously not as many people are going to be drawn to it because you've got to sit here, you've got to listen. I'm trying to speak fairly quickly so there's not loads of ahs, and then I have to cut it all because I do this all in one take. So I just know that if I'm doing it in one take, I need to make sure there's no real pauses, which is counterintuitive to the whole sales process, because when you sell, you need to go completely different. So you need to be an actor, basically, or an actress. If you're doing content, you need to be able to speak fairly quickly to get the YouTube going. Obviously, I'm not a YouTube professional. I might be wrong. I just know when I'm doing these videos, if I'm taking it really long and it's really drawn out, then people are going to leave because they need constant chat, constant chat, constant chat, constant chat. Obviously, if I want to spend more time in it and do a script and have notes and have annotations, have diagrams, all this stuff would be great, but I'm not making the time for it because it's not my primary focus. My primary focus is getting a setting role, a closing role, and a marketing role. So then I've got everything done. I'm in the process of getting a YouTube based marketing role for a free diving company, and I'm like, that's the perfect situation. It's part-time as well. I'm like, I don't need a full-time gig, I just need a couple part-time jobs to tie me over so I can put all of my energy into the rad life. That's funny. Okay, so again, back to the rad life. You got Jack Hopkins Fitness. He basically, I'll just copy that model. So you build on whatever platform, you funnel people to a landing page, click funnel style fucking funnel, you go down, gives you all of your hopes, desires, FOMO, fear of missing out, hope for loss, fear of gain, all those sales, pseudo fucking science terms, which actually make sense and actually work. And then you apply for it and you get accepted or not. If you don't get accepted for the high tier, then you get downsell to the next tier. It's a classic marketing play. It's just something that I need to put into place. He obviously does it really well, and what I'd imagine is he guarantees people a job at the end of it, I think. I'm not 100% sure, and I'll just do the same because it's a basic model. You get enough people, say I get 10 people, or one person per day inquires about the rad life, right? One person per day. I've already had 2 people mind in the last couple of days, and I do no paid marketing. I've got no real fucking standing. I've not hit LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is literally a playground for this. So I'm waiting for LinkedIn until I've got all of these videos so I can just go bat, 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 bat. And also I can get some of my friends who actually do LinkedIn properly to be like, I need you to manage this. I need to set up an email flow. I need to set up that. There's a lot to get set up. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. So you get to one person per day inquiring. Oh, I'd love to know more. Okay, how about we have a call? Boom. You don't necessarily need a setter to make the call, because if you're getting organic without ads, they're already interested, so it's an inbound lead. How about you set a call? I'll set you up, whether it's with my account or not, but you could do a qualifying call. So I've got Joe Blogs, who's already done the course. He's 6 weeks in. I'm like, Jack, I've actually got a call that I want you to sit. It's not a closing call. I just want you to set the appointment. I want you to do a bit of a qualification and a bit of a discovery about the person. So then I sit the call. I'll know everything about them and we'll be primed and ready. Okay, cool. And that means I'm just giving this guy, basically, if you can set this call and you can set me up with a good call and it's qualified, and I'll always have the qualification steps, you either get whatever it is, whether it's $100 for a booked meeting, whether it's a percentage of the sale, whether it's both. I like both. $100 for a booked meeting. If it's inbound, it's a bit different, but like $50 still. If you book the meeting and you make it solid and you get them excited and you build the urgency, like I'm just going in to close the door and take the money. If you do that, you're then showing to me that you can basically close as well. You can get everything done and all you need to do is ask for the money. How are you paying for this today? PayPal, Apple, payment plan? What are you going to be doing? I tell you what, if you can pay for 6 months up front, I'll give you a 50% discount. Whatever it is, there's so many tools and tactics, and that's the main thing about closing is having all of these, the assumed close with all of these little different payment options that I've always found really good. Especially with Americans, payment plans, they've always got an interest. If you give them something around 6% interest, okay, well I really want to do it with 6% is a bit of a burner. Okay, so what if I could do 3%? And then you're hoping that they're going to negotiate because you know you can do 0%. You're just going to take it because you want the money, realistically. Anyways, getting too deep into it again. But, okay, so cool. Then you set the appointment. Okay, well, there's someone else who's been in the course 12 weeks. Okay, Sally, you show me that you can do this. How about you jump on this closing call and you close this? If you close it, you get 10%. Like, you don't have to say after 12 weeks, everyone's ready to go out into the world. No, you just stay in and I'll help you get jobs. If you're good and I think you should work with me, I'll bring you in. The cream rises at the top. So the best people will obviously get the best work. The people who put the more work in will get the best jobs. But this is why I'm leveraging my network and speaking to people and applying for jobs. So I know now that these sales managers who are like, well, I need X, Y, Z, Connor's the guy to go for it because he trains them. I like his level of training, focuses a lot on psychology, on consultation, the whole NLP, NEPQ sort of stuff. Never split the difference style, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if someone's there, and I like inbound leads because inbound leads, you know there's some interest. Also, I actually know a lot of people. I know a shit ton of people. Like literally just then I was about to go to the gym, bang into Circle K to get some cash out. This guy's like, Connor, how you doing? I'm like, sorry, I don't remember you, bruv. He's like, you don't remember me? I'm like, no. He's like, Nell's Paradise, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I remember your name. How are you, bro? It's been like 4 years since I've seen him. And when I used to live here, I used to get blackout drunk like every day. Like, I don't remember 80% of the people that I met. But everyone seems to have a fairly good recollection of when we met, which is fine. But I'm like, I don't feel embarrassed for them. And I don't feel embarrassed myself. But I'm like, I don't mind introducing myself to new people or people who I haven't met before. But I'm like, I'm a completely different person. So I don't want to be like, I'm not being a prick if I say I don't know you. I just don't know you. Because my memory isn't that good for shit when I'm drinking. Like, I'll be honest, like, most one night stands I had, I won't remember. To be honest. Most people I've met on nights out, I won't remember. I can barely even remember, like, fuck, if you ask my close mates, is Connor's memory for random shit any good? No. Is it good when it comes to, like, stuff I enjoy and I like and I remember and I'm passionate about when I'm not drinking? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Okay, cool. So that's there. So then you can jump on or you can help deliver people and then we go from there and you just become this big churning engine. Obviously, if you can then get people to build their social media around remote closing, remote sales, remote living the high life, whatever they want to do, if you can help these people get to where they want to be, then you're just then elevating them as well. What I've always liked to do is learn from the top and get information coming down. But I know that I have enough knowledge in me and I can do another video shortly on am I actually qualified to teach people how to sell, how to close, how to set appointments. You can look at my CV, you can look at my LinkedIn, you can look at my other videos. My LinkedIn's been going on for this for ages, but it'd be good to do because not everyone's going to know what I've done and how I've done it, and there's probably going to be new people to the channel. Speaking of which, if you've got this far, which I don't think you have, I probably should have gone to around 2 or 3 minutes to say this because that's the average view time, not 20 minutes, but like, comment, subscribe. I actually don't care about that shit. Just subscribe. Just fucking subscribe. Send a fucking comment. If you want to get in touch, do it. I really, like, there's nothing to be scared of. get in touch. I'm not going to try and sell you on anything. I don't have enough time in the day to make people do shit they don't want to do. But if you do want to do it and you are keen to fucking elevate your life, then fucking let's run it. I'm in a position now where I'm like, I'm getting a job to then fucking build this. I'm not exactly bringing in fucking 50k a month right now. Doesn't make a difference. Like, let's just go through it. I've got loads of fucking skills and loads of knowledge that I want to give to people and people want to receive. So let's just allow that and let's just make it happen. Anyway, that's about it for me. I want the rad life to rock it. The last thing will be content. What I do want to do is do more content. I want to do vlogs because I like vlogs and they're fun, but I want to be more travel based. Like if I'm in the gym, if I'm working, if I'm at a villa, if I'm in a like if I'm doing all this like influencery styley, look at my life sort of shit, I'm like, it's not that authentic. So the vlog would help with that. But for like promo videos and stuff, it would be good to have a bit of like a action-packed, proper videography style thing, just because people are magpies and they like seeing stuff that's flashy, and also it'll be fun. Anyway, that's basically it. Been pretty much doing a video a day for a while now. I feel confident in getting all of these done and just excited. So yeah, love you, miss you, kiss you, reach out if you want to. Have a great day. Bye for now.